get to a point where you actually fully understand what makes sense and what doesn't. Where's your daughter? She's at school. She is at school. Guys, time. Okay, time. I don't have time. Now time has become an issue. I'm using the Dior Brow Styler. I don't know what shade is this because I don't have the lid anymore. Yeah, but this is the Dior Brow Styler. I love it. It's waterproof. It's retractable. You can pull it up and down. What are the advantages of not having a manager or being represented by an agency? Well, I think for me the advantages of that is that okay, let me be transparent with you guys. Like I wake up with my own, I sleep with my own. And to give perspective on that, it means that I lead from intuition. If something is for me, I've missed a lot of invitations, whatever, and not because they're not worth my time, but because they don't align with me and where I see myself going and what I want for myself, right? And I think the disadvantage to this way of thinking is that I could possibly miss out on something that might not align right now, but open up what I'd align with in the future. So I recognize that, I'm aware of it, and I've made peace with it, right? But I'm not working because I don't want to be told what to do. And I think that for me is an advantage. And also because I told you earlier that I've got this almost flighty trait where it's spontaneous. So if an opportunity comes now and says, oh, Sinqo, which is something that has happened before, got a call, hi Sinqo, are you around, or do you still happen to still be in France? And this was around the time where I was that side for quite a long period. So, they asked me, like, are you around or are you still in France? And I said, oh, I'm around. I came back last week. And they said, oh, shucks, there's someone who's needed in France. And I said, oh, when? And this call was on, I got the call on a Wednesday, and the person was needed that side on a Friday. And they said, oh, shucks, we need someone from South Africa to be that side by Friday. And I said, oh, I can go. I can book a flight and go. They were like, are you sure? You really? And I said, yeah. On my way to the airport, I'll just be, negotiating how much you guys will need to pay me for this. And they were like, cool, sure, can you book the flight on your side? I said, sure, I'll do it on my end, and then I'll just, invoice you. And that's happened. And I think if I had a manager, they might not have gotten the email on time, or not, or even if they got it on time, they wouldn't have maybe responded it in a way where I would have responded it. And that trip opened up so many doors to what I'm trying to do in such a big way, where when I eventually, because it was so rushed and I didn't have much clean clothes because I had just come back from a trip, and I had to unpack and pack, and I had to get guys, that day was so stressful because I got the call at around 11, and then I had to rush for a flight that was leaving at 6 in the evening. And you might think that's enough time, but if I need to be there 3 hours before and almost organize who's going to be taking my kids to school while I'm away, and all of that, moving parts for my house, it was a lot. So eventually when I got to the flight, I was just like, fuck. Sat there, I was like, fuck, Sinqo, what a powerhouse, I realized I can do it on my own, and maybe that's one off, but it just, it was such a major confidence boost for me, because even brand, they were so shocked, and they were just like, oh, thank you so much for availing yourself, because again, someone had to do it, and I just happened to be the right person at that time, you know, to actually like do it and have it be successful. But more than anything, I thanked myself for some of the opportunities that it opened for me now, that wouldn't have been open had I not had that wit to say, oh cool, let's do it, yes, do it now, we'll negotiate on our way, and you know, like that very like fast thinking and solution driven mindset, and not asking about, oh, not making an excuse, and like, you know, luckily my visa is active, so it was just easy for me to just pack and go. And also, I don't take the support I have for granted, to have people who are always there to actually jump in and say, you know, we can help you. I don't pay plug your perfume, your lip polish and gloss. The lip polish is the one, are you talking about the one from La Mer? That's the lip polish I use. I also use the Laneige the Laneige mask to sleep. But which perfumes in particular? Which ones? I have to focus when I do my brow, so I won't be able to like read. So I think this chat also answers a lady that was asking me whether I do business or how do I fly when I leave. So again, in that particular instant, you're looking for the available flight at the next hour that you need to go to leave. If you want to upgrade, you can upgrade inside or whatever. And if there's no space to upgrade or whatever, you just have to go and roll with the punches. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? It's really not always about like, for me, it's really like, it's never about that. It's about the bigger picture. Whatever I'm trying to do, that side must buy me a fucking private jet. That's where I'm trying to look at. I'm just like, whatever I'm trying to secure there should have me not even thinking of whether I'm flying coach or business. That's the mindset. That's where I'm trying to look at. I'm just like, hey guys, flights, also when I also like raise what I have secured for myself to get to a place where I can actually depend on myself for abantwana bam bafunde and get the quality education that I want and has me not looking at like frivolous things. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? It literally has me not looking at I literally look at like what's like, because the thing is, guys, life is not linear, and also life is not easy, especially for like a lot of people, and even in South Africa and whatever, right? Life is really not easy. So if I'm now just looking at how I'm gonna be flexing on you, guys, me, I don't care. And that's no nazi. Also, genuinely, I'm Nazim, guys, like, so I don't care. And even Abandon Bazi, I'm not trying to flex for them. So that's why I'm just like, hey, guys, libele zinto ezirongo. Nifuna ube nifota ntoni champagne. And he said, so it's just like, but I get it. For some people, it's different. And also for me, it's like, I know I'm not doing this for the first time. It's not the first time flying. It's not the last time. So also, I think that perspective really helps. Because when people feel like they're experiencing something for the first and last time, they hold on to it for dear life, and they want to... they hold on for dear life and want to like showcase it. I think the realistic way of like just looking at it is, let's say you book an Airbnb and you spend a fortune for it, and it's so nice, and then you happen to be like a content creator, and then when you get to that Airbnb, you start saying, yo guys, I want to take a picture at the pool. Oh, Guys, I sent Lendlu, must put in Lendlu. We're not going to be here for long. You know, we have a weekend to fit in experiencing this place while also capturing the moments that we like about this place. You have a short time to do that, and you won't you won't get the full experience of it if your priority is just to take photos. And also, if your priority is just to get to the full experience of it, you won't get enough time to take the content, right? So you win some, you lose some. And I think that's the mindset I actually experience when I say to people. Some people always know at the back of their minds that they're not going to experience something for long. That's why they have to like grab onto it and like almost like show and just for someone who has a conscious or like a soul that knows that they're meant for more, you're gonna get more in life, and you're gonna get it, and it's gonna be secured and it's gonna be yours. You don't operate from worrying that if I don't fly business, I'm not going. You know, if I don't have this bag, I'm not going to this event. You don't operate from that because you understand the bigger picture, that there's so much that you're gonna get from just showing a snippet. I think for me, that's just what it is. And it also goes back to the saying, people don't talk or brag about what they already have. Because guess what? You already have it. If I have this brush, if I have this brush from GHD, I'm not gonna constantly talk about it. I already have it. If I constantly talk about this brush, it's because either one or two things, my mind can't fathom that I already have this brush. So my mind has not quantum leaped to my current reality, that the brush is mine and is secure, it won't leave me. Or two, you know it's not yours, or you know you're not going to have it for long, so you hold on for dear life and start like putting it down people's throat that I have this brush. So if you don't have something, rather, or you didn't expect to have something, you're constantly going to shove it in people's throats. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's just my thing, because I think people don't talk about the things they have because they already have them and they're secure and they feel safe having those things. But if you don't have it, you're going to constantly show. And people constantly show the things that they scared to lose also. That's another like reality in psychology. People show things that they're scared to lose, and it comes from a very fearful place. It could be a trauma response, you know, to say, oh, I'm doing this because I might not have it tomorrow, or I want to have fully like thinking short term always reveals to me how someone feels like they've got limited time. That whole we can't say we didn't live life means you're done with the life of having, and you know what I'm saying. You need people to reference or almost hold it in nostalgia, like, oh, you remember, and if you want that, it's because you realize that the lifespan isn't long enough for you to actually attain or get to abundance. I don't know. I've said a mouthful. But yeah, that's just my way of thinking. Let me stop, because I did say time is a factor. And now I didn't even bring a mirror. I should have had a mirror behind my phone, just so I can, be sure and whatever. How do you best prepare for an international trip? Do you plan your content, outfits, etc.? Guys, I have a mood board idling. Like mood board yam initially ready like in one mood board yam if I were to visit Iceland, I know exactly what I'm gonna wear, I know which hair I'm gonna have, I know, me, I'm always prepared. So even if I to jump out on a trip today, I'm like, oh, but I don't always have outfits prepared. It's just that I know long term. But your go-to perfume, please. Secondly, lip polish. Oh, before pume. My angel, yeah, as an insert fragrance, guys, and yes, and I don't want to smell like anyone, but also like I have a lot of favorites. It just depends. I even got this thing as one of my favorite fragrances. Oh yeah. I have this Molten Brown, which is my favorite. It's Rose Dunes. Yeah, it's Rose Dunes. It is from Molten Brown, but I think this is nicer for like autumn going into winter. Rabanne is also great, and it's not on the heavier side. I mean, in terms of price, Rabanne is actually nice. They've got the new parfum now that just came out, and that one it's nice for summer. It's the best, and I think not only for summer, but I think it's like nice all round, like all year round. Jonga, session here, therapist yams. The wisdom here. Say, I don't think I didn't normally doesn't mean but thank you. But like I'm glad, and when I started this live, I was like, you know what? I do hope that the insights I share, part of my experiences, they help someone in how they're gonna go about their life, especially like when it comes to like content creation, because I think that's what this live is. That's what I based it on when I started, and just sharing like tips and like how I do how I navigate my everyday life with the things that I like, basically. So I really did say that I really hope umntu ngamnye aphume nento ayithathileyo okanye ayifundileyo, or that's like super insightful, whatever, because as a 9, I don't know if you guys are into numerology. As a 9, the only way for me to feel super fulfilled fully is when I share things. I need to give back. You know what I mean? I can't have things and harbor them and just have them for myself. I need to give back, whether that's knowledge, whether it's, wisdom, or, like try help or guide people. Is the sound still fine, guys? My phone was ringing, so usually when it rings, the sound gets interrupted. My sound gets interrupted. I need to just call someone back. Oh, wait. I'm actually gonna get into this. Someone saying, at what age did you have your firstborn? Dude, let me mute this. Oh shucks, I'm gonna have to charge this. Okay, I'll just let the person. I'm just gonna let the person maybe call me back. So, who's IJWC? Fellow 9. Oh, you're 9. At what age? So when I got down into, that rabbit hole of, okay, fine, I already follow astrology, I know a lot about it, your birth charts, whatever. But then there's a different side, which is your numerology. Okay, that's where you find your life path. That's where you now start realizing, start understanding things like, okay, cool, we're in the 9th year, and what all of that means, what a 3rd year means, what a 2nd year means, whatever. But I recently found out that if, let's say, you're a life path 3, yes, life path 3. Okay, let me use my life path number. So I'm a 9, right? So if your life path is a 9, or if you're a 9, they say go back to the age that repeats itself to get to a 9 and look at what happened around that age. Because life is like it's synchronity, it's full of synchronities. And if people want to look for signs when they only want them, then it's like, she's into astronumerology. So they say, like, if that year, let's say when I turned 18, I had my first child, right? 8 plus 1 is 9. That number doubles to my life path. So significant things are going to happen, milestones are going to happen around the time. And then when I was 27, which again, 2 plus 7 is 9. I had my second child. So I can't wait for the milestone or whatever, or how it's going to go when I reach 36, because 3 plus 6 is 9. Right? So I was mind blown, because I was like, did you know? And I called obviously my favorite person to go down rabbit holes with, and I talk about things. I feel like, oh my God, let me start adding up my stuff, because it really helps, and also like it gives you like insight on how your life is like panned out. It's like you really can get a glimpse to sure a lot of things about your life. I find it deep, but yeah. How do you determine your life path? Also a big fan of numerology. I love angel numbers. You add up the year you were born, plus the month you were born, plus the date you were born. And then if you get to a double-digit number, like let's say you get to 23, that means your life path number 5, because you have to add that 2 plus 3, and so on and so forth. So you just add the numbers up. Do you believe in God when you believe in those things? Of course. Guys, also the people I don't have long conversations with, or I instantly find boring, are people who are super obsessed with one type of religion, and people who feel like, oh, if God, people who are super, I'm a Christian, people who are super obsessed with Christianity to a point where they block out or don't have an open mind to understand how other things really work. And not that I necessarily follow or practice other things, but I'm interested because guess what? I want to know more about anything and everything. So the more I know about astrology, the better. And if I already know Christianity, because all my life I grew up under a Christian home where I know all that I need to know in Christianity. So I genuinely feel like there's no harm in me learning about numerology or astrology. I in fact want a microscope so I can look at the planets and know when they're moving and know exactly when Pluto has moved and it's direct. I want to know that. I love looking at the moon, so I want a stethoscope. I want a house built in a very high cliff where I can actually see and look closer. Those are my actual interests. When a full moon, I'm sitting outside at night looking at what's going to happen, how that's going to affect the world, the changes that are happening and all of that. And even now, everything that's happening, it was predicted back in 2022 based on what I read. So all that's happening now, the collapse of like in politics, the collapse of NASA, all that was predicted. So by the time it happens, even the accidents when it comes to like cabins now, like planes crashing, all that was predicted. Cars getting mechanical failures and a lot of those things were predicted that from 2024. Even now, the year is a year of nines, and people think it's a bad year. I'm like, whoa, wait till you know what's going to be happening next year in 2027. If you think it's a bad year, it's still going to be worse. You know what I'm saying? So, you sound like an air sign, to be accurate. I've got Aquarius placements in my chart, but like, there's nothing I don't want to know. So if I'm a Christian, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna do research on how animals live and learn, and you know what I'm saying. Mind expansion is actually really good for the collective because it helps us coexist with each other within our different tribes, within our different cultures, within our different backgrounds. The reason I will speak for myself, the reason it's so easy for me to make relationships and maintain them in different parts of the world is the fact that my mind is open. I don't say, oh, you're Muslim, so I'm not going to talk to you, because all of that is created to create a divide in our system. Oh, you're Xhosa, oh, I love it. Oh, you're Zulu, oh, I don't like that. No, I like people. I don't care whether you are black, whether you are red, whether you understand. So expansion of the mind opens you up to things that would have been so limiting if you are only obsessed with one part of religion. We're all connected. Even the person that does astrology or tarot or whatever, they were all created by the same God that you feel, no, God doesn't like them. No. God likes everyone and he accepts everyone. Even if I then decide, oh, now I'm confused, God, I'm trying out this path. I'm trying out this path because I'm now confused. God is not going to say, oh, you're trying out something that doesn't talk about me. I'm definitely blacklisting you. I'm going to punish you. No. God is not dumb. God won't create two paths only for him to limit you, to say, he created this brain that wants to know more. So now why would he actually punish me for following numerology? He's the one that gave me this brain. Is that not contradictory? So yeah, if that answers your question. But yeah, I want to get into it. Like, I don't really speak much on like politics or whatever. People choose what they believe in and they decide what to follow, and all I do is respect those things. It doesn't mean I also go and practice or whatever. I'm open to understanding, oh, okay, what does it mean? Okay, what's the mindset around it? What do they practice? And then okay, sure, move. It's not like one way. Life is not one way. If you think it is, then I think there's so much room for people to actually like learn and expand, because we all come from like different backgrounds of understanding. Oh, this necklace was gifted to me. I can't really remember where it's from, because I had this necklace since 2021. I actually like it. I recently found it on my jewelry. I wasn't always wearing it. I recently found it. And what's nice is that I can actually like shower with it. It doesn't really change. Things like a really good quality. It was gifted to me. I can't recall where it was from. Oh, people are teaching each other here how to calculate. Say. And ubaze bamkabezazi life path numbers are good. Well, good for you. Enjoy if you're doing it for no years. It's just that. Actually, the person who said I sound like an air sign Aquarius, I'm actually not. I'm a Taurus. But also within Taurines, there's 3 decans. There's the way Taurines who are born in April operate, and there's ones who are born on the 2nd decan, which is from the 1st of May until I think the 10th. That's the 2nd decan, and then the 3rd is from the 10th until I think the 19th or 20th, somewhere there. But all of us operate from a different way of thinking, apparently. And the 2nd decan of Taurines are ruled more by Mercury, which is the planet of knowledge. And so I think that's why I'm more on the sapiosexual side. We will all be Taurines and maybe have like similarities here and there, you know, and like mutual interests, but we're not really like ruled by this. We're not all ruled by the same planet equally. I stand corrected. I just read that somewhere. I'm not saying it as truth verbatim, but we all rule from different, each decan is ruled by a different planet, but our primary ruler is Venus. We are Venus ruled. Ndiyayazi into lanto ye-spirituality nizathetha nge-religion apho andibaya ba-up in arms my angel ko kuphunywa kungasathethwa sisixabene into eserious ngela xesha besithetha into evanayo apha sincokolani nge-makeup nenwele. Nankumntu esithithorisa stubborn and like food and they love the finer things in life. That's the stereotype. But you'll find that not all of them are like that. I mean, they love the finer things in life with food, but it depends also what you want to define being stubborn as. I don't know. I can't agree much, but I can't take away, because that's how they say we are. That's how they describe Taurines. There's only one way to describe Taurines. What kind of books do you read and TV shows are you into? I love The Inside Man. Have you guys watched The Inside Man on Netflix? The extremely intelligent guy that's in prison and solves cases while he's inside prison, and people go to him to solve cases. I like that. But also, I'm into books like, I've read The Secret, Conversations with God, The Art of Not Giving a Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Venus, just came to look at you here. Love your earrings, thank you. I'm very impatient with someone who brings nothing to the table knowledge-wise. 9 May! You're my twin. I'm also born on the 9th of May. That's crazy. Also very impatient. Same. I'm very impatient. Like someone who has no knowledge, or I dilly-dally a lot, right? And by that, I'm whimsical, and funny enough, I saw a video and I reposted it on TikTok that said exactly the same. I'm dilly-dally, and I'll post, singing lyrics and stuff. But please trust me, I'm actually very clocked in. There's nothing that passes me. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled by my dilly-dally. Aesthetics. No. Me being dilly-dally is my way of coping with knowing so much. It's my brain's way of resting from absorbing and taking on too much and noticing little things and shifts and don't get it twisted. That's why I also like when people, just to go deep into this dilly-dally while you're actually a person who's actually clocked in, is that people will think because you're because you're whimsical, people like limiting people to just being one thing or looking like one thing, and it's fine, it's okay. That's how the human brain regulates itself, with looking at things and just wanting to familiarize itself with what they've already known or what they've come across just to be safe. So the the thing with that is that people think, or people have judged me harshly on how I say when I talk about like a cut-off game, and and I say, yo, a cut-off game is strong, and they're like, oh, Sen, but you never give people a chance, no. When I was giving chances, you missed out on that. You missed out when I was giving chances because you were looking for the big signs. I wasn't looking at the big signs. It's like the other video describes it to say, you think I cut you off based on something so small. Meanwhile, I was building a Rico case. Every time you did something, I was, and then you eventually got to here. You shouldn't have got to here. You're supposed to stay here all along. So while you here, while people are still very kind, showing kindness, being nice, people get taken for granted. And you think that because someone is showing kindness and being nice, you think that they're not noticing things. You think that they're not seeing things, which is why for me, you always have to be here where you help me not notice things. The minute I notice things and I start building, and I'm like, and then eventually I cut you off. It's not that I don't respect you enough to also bring up the things that could possibly restore whatever relationship is had. It is because through observation, I realized that even if I do bring them up, you're an avoidant person. So you're probably going to jump in being dilly-dally and say, oh no, you read too much into it. And the minute I peep that, I'm like, oh, you're slowly introducing me into gaslighting. You're gonna say, oh no, you read too much. I didn't. I saw it, but I maintained being nice, and I was hoping that I won't have to address it. And then you do something else, and then when you're here, I'm like, okay, you should have been here. It's not my fault anymore because you actually should have stayed here, and you were confused by my nature being dilly-dally, being very, whimsical and going with the flow and very spontaneous and whatever. And you mistook that nonchalance with me not actually clocking. So get out of here and also I know people who I can bring things up with because they're not going to make me feel stupid for bringing things up. They're not. When I bring things up, people are going to actually listen and be like, oh, shucks, is that because also I'm actually very intelligent enough to say, these are my feelings and this is not the person's intent. So I know when my feelings are I'm very emotionally regulated. I know when I'm blowing things out. I literally sit with myself for almost weeks thinking, maybe was it myself? And then I go through the conversation with different people so that they can give me insight. And not people who are going to take my side. No. People who are actually going to say, no, actually, the mistake was A, B, and C, so that I can still put my tail between my legs and come and say, you know what, I might have done A, B, and C. So I know the people to do that too, but I know avoidant people who always want to come and test waters. Is it safe for us to speak now? Let me like her pictures. Oh, let me just throw in a small conversation to see if we're still in the same path. No, we're not. And with me is that because I'm very firm and very there's nothing you're gonna you for me you won't wonder where you stand. It's very clear. So I won't bother. I'll just remove myself silently and just enjoy whatever you and I had, but just repack, pack my feelings inside, pack myself. Yeah, and admit and be okay with saying that I've actually lost someone, and it sucks, but they should have just stayed here. Like in my opinion, it's like they shouldn't have gotten. They took it too far. And also clocked in enough to know when someone did it on purpose to sort of like test how far they can go with my boundaries. And I know that, okay, me giving them a reaction is giving them exactly what they were fishing for in the first place. So I'm not going to give no reaction. I'm just going to be silent and move. And wish you well. So those stereotypes of like, oh yeah, you know, Taurus people always cut people off. No. No one actually talks about the process of us getting to that cut-off game, which wasn't just instant. We're not crazy. Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm not a crazy person. And also I'm not expecting people to not have flaws or things that they are dealing with on a daily basis. But like, what also you're not going to do is gaslight me into thinking, yeah. And there's balling and just forget your energy. This is not worth my energy. I'm not a part of it. Energy is so precious. Taurus baby, I have less than 5. And the scissors are too sharp. Yeah, and also like it's not something I enjoy, like, you know, talking about. I don't like, you know, I won't lie. It's not like a trait that I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I cut people. No, because that process is still painful. That process, as much as people think, oh yeah, you can just cut people off, that process is painful because you're not cutting off someone you didn't want in your life. You're cutting off someone who you actually wanted to build friendship with or whatever. So it wasn't just random. Well, I didn't do it because it gives me a kink to be like, oh, NW43, that's the bronzer shade. I hate toxic people around me, self-centered people. Also, like, I hear you, and valid. I don't mind self-centered people. If anything, I actually love people who like, and when I say self-centered, I mean the healthier way, where someone really loves themselves and their standards are quite high and they know how beautiful they're. Like, I love those people. I'm just like, yes, good to have around me, because one thing I won't be around are people who are not sure of themselves. And now every time you guys have to just, you know, work around saying nice things around them because they never feel good about themselves. So I really like a healthy, self-centered person. And also, it takes nothing away. Just like, I generally, most of the time I generally don't care. Like things be going on in my life. So I generally like don't really care for if someone wants me to now center them in my life, because everyone who's in my life understands that that's not gonna happen. Like, I generally don't center people in my life. Hi Sinqobile, how do you maintain your curls? Do you mean on this hair? I don't know if I actually like this blush, but I'm not mad at it. It's an old blush. I'm sure they've discontinued it even. So these curls now. So what I do, I take out my tape ends and then I take them to Tsepo Carlton, my friend that I spoke about earlier on that relaxes my hair. Tsepo Carlton, and he curls them. He does a curl. And then by the time they get to me, I brush them out, or rather comb them out, because I really want that like effortless wavy look that isn't really. So I don't really maintain these. It's just that I don't sleep with this hair. But it really is like good hair.